Welcome back to Nobody Told Me This Part Caregiving, Loss, and What Comes Next. I'm your host, Shelby Della Rosa. Last time, we talked about the shoulds we hand ourselves. Today, we're talking about the ones other people hand us. Let's take a breath together and begin. Last episode, I told you about my friend Diane Cunningham Ellis and the phrase she taught me that I have not stopped thinking about. Don't should on yourself. Today, I want to add the second half of that sentence because honestly, it might be the harder half. Don't let others should on you either. Because here's the thing nobody quite prepares you for. When you lose your person after caregiving, your house gets quiet, but the world around you gets very loud with opinions. And so many of those opinions come wrapped up in a single word should. They also come wrapped up in what sounds like wisdom almost. You should be handling this better. You should feel a certain way. You should be over this by now. There's a whole culture built around it, and I've started calling it exactly what it is grief policing. Let's start with the phrases you've probably heard 100 times. At least he's not suffering anymore. God won't give you more than you can handle. You're just so strong. I don't know how you do it. That is the one that makes me particularly crazy. I want to tell you what one of those actually does in a body because it's not just annoying, it's physical. Somebody once said to me, at least you had time to prepare. And I felt a flash of nausea so fast it nearly knocked me sideways. Right behind it came something close to fury. That wasn't me being oversensitive. That was truth in my body, recognizing a lie the second it landed. Because, yes, we know they're not suffering anymore. We watch that suffering closer than anyone else, but that doesn't erase our own grief. It doesn't mean our arms don't still ache to hold them. And the shoulds don't stop at the big obvious ones either. There's a whole quieter list underneath. You should feel a certain amount of sad based on exactly how you were related to the person you lost. You shouldn't feel relief. You shouldn't feel angry. You should have handled this better since you technically saw it coming. Y'all, that's a lot of rules for something nobody handed us a rule book for in the first place. Here's what I want to name because I think it's the real point underneath all of it. When someone tells you how strong you are, that's not really a comment about your strength. It's a request. It's asking you to keep being strong so they don't have to sit in the discomfort of watching you not be okay. Same with, at least he's not suffering. That's not really about your person's suffering ending. That's somebody looking for the fastest exit out of a hard conversation and handing you the silver lining so they can take it. I don't think most people even realize they're doing this. Their hearts are usually in the right place. But the effect is the same either way. You end up managing their comfort on top of everything else you're already carrying. I got a small taste of what it's supposed to feel like with all that management, and I want to tell you about it because it changed something for me. After Rich died, I found an online support group, and within it, a smaller group for what they called extreme caregivers, women who'd been exactly where I'd been. And I'd show up sometimes barely holding it together, and somebody would just say, I understand. Not the I understand people say when they're doing their loving best, but can't quite reach you. The I understand that comes from someone who's actually been in that exact dark and and it landed in a completely different place. Something in my chest would release that I hadn't even known was clenched. No should, no silver lining, no request to manage anyone's comfort, just, I understand, from someone who actually did. That's what I want for you. And that brings me to something exciting. I'm opening a free private grief group for caregivers after loss off of Facebook in the next week or so. A space that's just for this. No shoulds allowed, grief policing left firmly at the door. Just women who get it, sitting with each other in the dark for a while, the way that group sat with me all those years ago. The link isn't ready yet, but it'll be in the show notes very soon, so keep an eye out. Before I let you go today, one quick example, because I promised I wouldn't leave it out entirely. 3 months after Rich died, I sold our family home. It was too big, too full of weight, wrong for the family of 3 we had actually become. And people had feelings about it. I needed to wait longer. He wouldn't have wanted that, had I really thought it through. They loved us, but they weren't in those rooms at 2 in the morning. I was. My kids were. So I sold it anyway, and I've never once regretted it. Thank you for caring is a complete sentence. You don't owe anyone the rest. I want to close with the whole phrase, both halves together, the way Diane taught it to me. Don't should on yourself, and don't let others should on you either. You get to set both of those down. The ones you hand yourself and the ones other people hand you. Neither one gets a permanent seat at your table. Thanks for sitting with me through both of these episodes. Please remember, healing isn't about fixing your old self. It's about learning who you are now. And who you are now gets to decide her own timeline, her own feelings, her own next steps, without anybody else's attached to it. Not mine either. Take what's useful here and leave the rest. And if you're looking for a place to land where nobody's going to shit on you, that new group's coming soon. Watch the show notes. Until next time, take it one breath at a time. Take good care of yourself. Don't shit on yourself. And don't let anybody else do it either. You've already begun.